Good afternoon everybody, Car Biker here. I'm still out of my ride drawing the eastern perimeter of my lanes challenge onto my Calimoto map, and it'll also go onto my Google My Map as well. I'm in Sewerby now, which is a little coastal place. It's an interesting point I've put on the map. That's definitely not not taking me where I thought I was going. I'm going to go down there anyway, see where it goes, because it feels like this has got to go somewhere interesting. There's me going off piste already on this video. Probably not the best idea. Ah, that just looks like a car park. This looks like the main street, or a street. Sewerby's just on the coast, just north of Bridlington, and I think it's going to be the first time on this ride that I actually see the sea. In fact, it has been, because I did catch a glimpse of the sea a second ago. Ah, right. I guess there was no real point in that little diversion, because I'm back onto the road that I was coming down, I think. Ah well, these things happen. My route is about to get much more coastal, heading into Bridlington now. Sewerby and Bridlington are basically touching. Going to be hugging the coast as much as I can now, so there should be some views of the North Sea. Sea that I spent a lot of time in as a child, freezing half to death because the North Sea is not in any way warm. Even in summer, it's not in any way warm. Although, at the moment, I would avoid it, not for the cold, but for the sewage, which is rather unpleasant. So that's the sea ahead of us. So that is the North Sea, at the north edge of Bridlington. I think we're heading down to where the land train goes. There's a little land train, just a vehicle, you know, it's like a van or something, I think, converted to look like a train that drags a few carriages around in the summer. And it is summer, so you never know, I might see it. Even though the sea isn't the cleanest, and that's proper understatement, it's still popular here. There are some people in the sea over there. I'm sure a lot of these roads used to be two-way roads and have now become one-way and parking. I guess it's how the council around here makes a bit of money. Putting the family in quotes on a family restaurant called Wise Guys. Somewhat sinister. Sounds like it could be owned by Tony Soprano. Ah, that was tricky to get through the middle of Bridlington. Crazily busy day. Now we're coming past the Bridlington Spa, entertainment-y type place, where they've done one of these roads with no lines on, so nobody knows where they should be going and just force their way through because they've got a Maserati, or a Land Rover, or a Honda, or a Nissan. Couple of puffins. They made quite a few of those, all painted and dotted around the county. And then on the left is the sandy beach of Bridlington. Well, that was Bridlington. I've ridden from in from the north. I'm now coming out of the south of Bridlington. I'm making a note to myself, don't do that again on a Sunday. That yeah, when you've spent the morning riding around lanes with very little traffic on, just the odd tractor, and suddenly you see a small town with thousands of cars in, all of them not paying attention, just desperately looking for somewhere to park. It's almost a culture shock. I'm going to be pleased to get out of this traffic, and I will be back on a coast road, but we're now past the major seaside towns. There's still Hornsey to go, but Hornsey is not a massive visitor attraction. It might be where I stop for a cup of tea. And I've also got Withensea to go through, and that's a little bit more of a tourist attraction, but again not huge. And that might be where I stop for a cup of tea. One of the two, depending on how I feel. Finally off the main drag and coming towards Fraisthorpe. Fraisthorpe's quite an amusing one. It's got a beach that's quite a nice sandy beach. Another one where occasionally I'll park up and then walk up to Bridlington, and as you go along the beach there you get to see quite a lot of the old World War II defences that are still on the beach, collapsing into the sea, but they're still there. They've lasted a long time, but it's always amusing that there's a sign near the beach that says, "This is not a nudist beach." And I always assume with all signs that there's a reason that they're there. Usually there's a rule that's unspoken until somebody breaks it, and suddenly it has to be spoken. So I'm not quite sure of the history, whether there was a nudist beach there or not at some point. There certainly isn't now, and they want to make that very clear indeed. The North Turnpike. I've read a lot of Stephen King, and he often talks about turnpikes, but I'm not really sure what a turnpike is, other than it's some kind of road. In my mind it was always bigger than this though. Anybody out there in the old US of A's, what's a turnpike in America? Is it a little tiny road like this? If so, I've been imagining completely the wrong thing for a long time. It's a dual carriageway now. There's almost a look of shock from those two people that there was a vehicle coming down here. I guess this is definitely a road less travelled, although I see a car here. I'm not going that way, no matter what Calimoto thinks. This isn't looking promising either. It's taking me down here, I guess, because it thinks I can get to wherever that gated bit was. But it's a dead end, so definitely not the right way. Oh, well, while I'm down here I'll go to the so we get to the seafront. Yeah, it's trying to take me around the back of there, isn't it? This is probably caravan park, right? This is probably one of those places that's slowly disappearing into the sea. I mean, I'm actually looking at the line it's taking me on here, and I'm not even sure the road is there anymore. it's not. That there would have been a road that went through there, I guess. Let's see if it's down at the bottom of the cliff. Yeah, I'm not going to be riding this one today. Some of it's down there. I think Calimoto's maps are a little out of date. So it's actually turned it into steps with a rope. I guess it probably was just that road there coming round the bend here, but they don't think of us on bikes, do they? Clearly it's collapsing in over there, but I reckon I could have got round that on a bike. Not through this walled bit perhaps, but the rest of it for sure. Clearly that fence was longer at some point, it's been folded back. It's a nice beach though, isn't it? Golden sands, as they say. Over in the distance there is Bridlington, and Sewerby's over there where the white cliffs are. Or where they start anyway. And then Flamborough and Bempton, I believe, will be the white cliffs right over there. I need to pay a visit to Flamborough at low tide and have a look around the caves there. Maybe not so much the caves, but there are some caves, but there's also some interesting cliffs that you can get to and walk around, but only when the tide's out.